Tao Daily Tarot is just around the corner, but let me give you the usual heads up. We have a full moon in Scorpio, a super full moon at that. Pluto turning retrograde at exactly the same time. You are feeling a lot of pressure. There is something in your life that is just weighing heavily on you. And you have to try to figure out how to deal with it because you want to go to a happily ever after. You're not there because of this particular heavy weight that is weighing on you. How do you get there? That's your key. Yeah, this is going to be a really interesting next few days as we approach the full moon because we're all going to have to go deep. You can do it though. You can. All the details coming up in just a moment. Well, hello and welcome to a brand new edition of the Tao Daily Tarot. Glad to have you here, whether you're a first-timer, long-timer, cross-watcher. Makes no difference whatsoever. Very happy and pleased that you are joining me today for this latest edition of the Tao Daily Tarot. Now, for the first-timers, this is what separates us from everybody else pretty much. I do archetypal readings. I only use 8 cards because the Tao, by definition, is simple. It's direct. So just 8 cards, 4 decks, but just 8 cards. I also focus on energies. I don't focus on predictions because there are just way too many variables to really serve you. And I don't want to take my interpretation and then have you live with it. So what we work with is an energetic weather report. That's what I call it. The energies around you now are affecting everybody the same way, except the way they're expressed are different depending on the individual's lives. And since there's almost 8 billion people on the planet, that's a lot of interchange, right? So I want to give you the energies in this energetic weather report called the Tao Daily Tarot. So I focus on the energies of coming, going, pushing, pulling. The things that you have to deal with every day because things are coming at you every day. Things are going away from you every day. Things are pushing you. Things are pulling you. That's life. So if I give you the weather report and say, hey, it's going to be sunny today, or hey, it's going to be snowy today, or hey, we're going to have a tornado today, any one of those 3 different things will mean that you prepare for the day differently so that you can successfully navigate. That's what I am doing with the Tao Daily Tarot every single day. I want to empower you. I also do something called the Hyper Shuffle, and I get to the reading in about 10 minutes, give or take a minute, depending on the cards. And we take care of business because 10 minutes, a minute or two either side, is something that you can easily squeeze into your life every day. And that's what I would like to have you do as you get this energetic weather report called the Tao Daily Tarot. Alrighty, I did mention quickly the Hyper Shuffle. How about if I show you what it looks like? So, there you go. There is the Tao Daily Shuffle for today, the Hyper Shuffle. Let's begin with this energetic weather report by looking at the overall temperature. It is message in a bottle. Wonder what that might mean. Message in a bottle. Well, let's look at the cards. Let's find out. The first card is from the coming and going energy side, and it's the 5 of Cups. It is looking at what you've lost rather than what you still have. You see those 2 cups behind this person? Those cups are fine. Those cups are great. And you notice off in the distance there is a place of solitude, a place of safety, the castle. All he has to do is go across the river and he's safe and fine, take the 2 cups with him and everything is good. But instead, he focuses on the 3 cups spilled in front of him. Maybe kind of what you're doing, something that you love, somebody that you loved, disappointed you, and now you are focusing on what you've lost rather than what you still have. I don't think for terribly too long, however. We move to the second card for coming and going energy, 10 of Cups. Yeah, the happily ever after. Okay. I think you're beginning to pick up on the idea that you're going to have to build your happily ever after. I think all of us have gone through a period of time, especially over this past year, where we've seen our 5 of Cups, the 3 spilled cups, and just not picking up on the 2 cups. that are still full and very viable. On the other hand, we still have that dream of the Ten of Cups, that right, happily ever after. And I think that's kind of where we're heading. It's amazing reading these cards very often. You take a look at the astrology of what's going on. We have the full moon in Scorpio coming up in another couple of days. That's going to be heavy duty, especially since the planet Pluto is going retrograde right at the same time. That's a double whammy. So you are feeling very heavy stuff going on emotionally right now, deep stuff, and you may not even be able to sort it all out yet. But I think you will. We move to the energy of pushing and pulling, and we have the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is information coming in quickly that can create more enthusiasm, positivity in your life. And I suspect there will be some sort of information coming in or communication coming in. It may be a revelation that you have on your own. Like I said, this Scorpio full moon with Pluto turning retrograde exactly at the same time. This is some deep, deep stuff. Oh, and the full moon, by the way, is a super full moon, meaning it's as close to the Earth as it ever gets. So its tidal wave effect on our emotions will also be felt very profoundly, and that's probably what you're feeling right now, just this profound stuff. In fact, adding to this whole thing, the final card from Pushing Pulling Energy is the Seven of Swords. Now, very often that will mean the sneak, the thief, somebody stealing from you. And it's not to say that over the last year or so, there haven't been those kinds of feelings that was exactly what was going on. Something was being stolen from us. But I think in this reading, what you're saying is, or what you're seeing is, the Seven of Swords can also be working very secretively, very quietly, very privately. And again, what that does is underline what's coming up with the Scorpio full moon, the super moon, making it even more powerful. And Scorpio's already deep, deep, deep to begin with. And then you got Pluto turning retrograde at the same time. Wow. So I think there is a lot going on inside of each of us. And it is profound. And because it is swords, it's probably the way we're thinking, probably our thoughts, the information that we're picking up. We're really working on a very, very, very deep level. Something that you may not even be able to discern exactly quite yet, but you will probably within the next week. We move to the energy of the magnifiers, and magnifier number one, Nine of Swords. Swords, thoughts, words, keeping you up at night. Yeah, those 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning ghosts. You think the world is falling apart. You think you're useless, you're pointless, you're just, why am I doing any of this, right? Those are the kinds of thoughts that you have in this page of Swords, or Nine of Swords. Just tremendous amount of angst in your life right now. And again, I would imagine that because we're talking about the Seven of Swords, maybe nobody even knows about it. This is deep, 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 deep inside of you. And that's where you want to keep it until you kind of make sense out of some things, which you will down the road. Second magnifier card, the High Priestess, your intuition. The stuff that words cannot cover. This is what the High Priestess is all about. And this is what this Scorpio super full moon in a couple of days or few days is all about. And then again, the Pluto going retrograde, I cannot emphasize enough what a heavy duty impact those two things have on your psyche, on what's going on inside of everybody. There's an entirely different story being told inside everybody's heart and head right now. And the story's not finished. So nobody's talking about it much, but it's very, very deep. And so we move to the vice versa card, which is reversa today. Yeah, it's the Emperor in reverse. And what that means very often when the Emperor is in reverse is that we're talking about domination, the use of force, controlling, rigidity, inflexibility, those kinds of things. I mean, just taking the power that you have and just grinding it into the face of the public. And I think if you were to look at the world situation, you could draw that conclusion that there is a real negative dominance kind of thing going on in the world. And that, in fact, may be what is causing all of this angst. Your life is going along pretty well. But when you take the time to take a look at what's going on around you, you may sit back and go, what the hell? And it has you kind of tied up in knots. That's the stuff that keeps you up at night. That's the stuff that is the Nine of Swords. That's the stuff that you go, wow, how are we going to deal with this? All right? So I think there's a lot going on behind the scenes with everyone today. And in fact, when I was doing the pre-shuffle, I also came up with the Nine of Cups, the hopes, wishes, but in reverse. So a lot of what we're hoping for, a lot of what we're looking towards, a lot of what we're kind of working towards seems very, very far away. How do we deal with it? Because the forces outside of us are really putting the pressure on. And that may be the message in the bottle for you, right? Looking at what's going on and figuring out how do I make the best of it. Alrighty? There's that lonely message. And because it's a message in a bottle, it arrives to you alone. Everybody gets their own different message, their own different answers. And right about now, they are feeling very, very heavy. Well, there you go. That's our reading for today. It was a very interesting one and dramatic one, to be sure. I will have a brand new tarot reading for you tomorrow. I do a brand new reading every day, 365 days a week, so I hope you join me again. Please like, subscribe, and hit that bell. Very important information for the folks at YouTube to help build this channel. So I look forward to you and I talking tarot again soon, if not tomorrow, shortly down the road, because I miss you when you're not here. Between now and then, however, I always wish you blessings.